Problème technique. Je vais pas. Gunslinger, alors je saurais même plus dire si j'avais déjà joué. Voilà.
Don't I know you, sir?
Don't believe so. I haven't been here in many years. Name's Silas Greaves.
Silas Greaves? The bounty hunter?
Used to be.
Well, what are you doing here in Abilene?
Just passing through. Got a little business to take care of.
Well, sir, it would be an honor if you would allow me to buy you a beer.
Hell, son, it would be my honor to drink it.
I'm Molly. Howdy.
I'm Dwight. That's Jack and Steve. Ben's behind the bar. Oh, I bet you got some great stories.
A couple.
Any of them true?
Jack, be nice.
A few.
What about your shootout with Henry Plummer's gang in Bannock, Montana? Is that where you started as a bounty hunter? That's what it says in this here dime novel.
Don't believe everything you read in them dime novels, boy. First man I hunted was back when I was riding with Billy the Kid.
You knew Billy the Kid?
Damn right. That scrawny son of a bitch had no fear. Wouldn't back down for nobody.
I heard he collected the 10 stars off any crooked lawmen who crossed him.
It was a war, boy. The Lincoln County War. And Billy promised his regulators would take the life of every bastard who helped bushwhack John Tunstall.
Kid had a big chip on his shoulder and a hair-trigger temper. Made him dangerous as hell. It was about 30 years ago. Billy was hiding out in an abandoned farm near Stinking Springs. I threw in with the kid because the man I had sworn vengeance on was riding with Billy's enemies. But before I tell you why I want that sumbitch dead, let me tell you what happened that day. I was heading back to the hideout when suddenly I had this funny feeling.
Funny, haha?
No, Steve. The other kind of funny.
Stay here to keep an eye on the road.
That's not fair. We're missing all the fun.
I knew those two morons would never let me through. I had no choice.
Merde, tu es. Chiant déjà.
Shoot that sumbitch!
Gagner de l'expérience en tuant des ennemis, cette expérience vous sert à améliorer votre personnage et gagner des compétences.
Was it Pat Garrett's posse?
Oh yeah. I heard the shots and I knew I had to move fast.
Fire at will!
Garrett and his army of deputies had surrounded the entire homestead. I decided to help Billy and the boys out a bit. So that's just what I did. As the governor of New Mexico was paying for the kids' apprehension, Garrett was able to hire every gun hand in Lincoln County.
Il y a un niveau. Choisissez l'une des 3 catégories et achetez les compétences la plus à gauche. Tireur d'élite à longue distance, trappeur combattant rapproché. Pardon. Pour les duels. Chasse. Ralentit le temps, vous prenez votre temps en visant quand vous visez à l'aide d'une arme à canon long ou à une main. Le temps ralentit légèrement, moins de concentration pour vous faire mouche. Attendez 30 secondes. Et voilà. Merci de voir Guichard, c'est surtout un véritable chef-d'œuvre de conception et d'optimisation. Le mécanisme de déclenchement a été simplifié, le canon allongé, d'où un net gain de cadence de tir et de maniabilité. Les autres. 2 revolvers, un revolver dans chaque main, l'heure de la vengeance a sonné. Quand vous maniez un revolver, ouais, passez en mode 2 armes. Portée plus 35, recul moins. Résistance au combat rapproché, sans être à l'épreuve des balles, vous devenez plus résistant. En moyenne, une balle sur 4 d'une arme courte ricoche sans vous faire mal. Les cartouches à portée de puissance du sud. Et 35, dégâts 15, dispersion. D'ordinaire énorme.
I'm putting you down. Watch out! He's one of them.
God damn it, he's right behind us!
Where the hell's Garrett?
Garrett's men were running around like a bunch of chickens with their heads
These
cut
some
off.
bitches running. I'll flank it.
Still, one of them reached the water tower.
Le mental est quand vous êtes en train de
Not a
survivre.
bad idea. It would be
Et
a
la balle d'un
turkey
mouvement
shoot
vers la
from up there.
gauche ou la droite.
Luckily, these shooters Garrett hired weren't the sharpest tools in the shed.
I'm here.
A lot of them were saddle tramps or sod busters or drunken drifters looking to make a few bucks.
God damn you! Had enough?
Then, I heard a friendly voice yelling at me from the window. Back door! We'll cover you!
Stop aiming, you idiots!
Truth be told, things weren't much better behind the house. I cut their numbers in half, but that just made the ones that were left twice as mad.
You think you can kill me too?
They made up for their lack of skill with a seemingly endless supply of ammo. It was a bit of a slog, but I finally fought my way around the back of the house. And like that, I was inside, none the worse for wear.
Deader than a rat in a
I
trap!
passed Dirty Dave. And upstairs, I found Billy and Charlie
How about
Bolton.
that? Huh? You like that?
Billy looked at me and said, "About time, amigo. Grab a gun and get to the window."
Wait, so you were friends with Billy the Kid?
Yeah, sort of. Anyway, we were surrounded by dozens of deputized shooters who wanted to do us harm.
Where'd he come from?
J'ai tiré sur
Keep
une...
this up all day! I think I got
Bonsoir qui arrête les balles.
I'm telling you, Garrett's men were dropping like flies, but they just kept on coming. That's when Charlie got hit. "They're catching us in a crossfire," shouted Billy. "Get to the other side." Cocksuckers I personally put down, but it was pretty clear, even to Billy, that maybe discretion was the better part of valor.
What's that mean?
It means that it was time to cut and run. "They got a Gatling," Billy shouted. "Get the horses and bring them round back. I'll draw their attention." He directed that order at me. And I thought, why the hell do I have to do it? But I went anyway. Dumbass that I was back then.
Those poor sons of bitches are done for.
Many would have fled in my place. But I had that false sense of invincibility that many young men have. Like Jack here.
What are you saying, old man?
Jack, he's just joshing with you now.
Yeah, he better be.
Mr. Greaves, please continue.
Please, call me Silas, ma'am. Now, where was I?
You were heading for the barn.
I'm gonna cut you, boy!
Making my way past a castle of fallen foes.
You or me?
Sounds like Garrett hired a whole regiment of hired guns.
Yeah, and just when I thought I was done with them, more of these half-witted bastards would pop up. Finally, I had the stables within my reach. After the fight, maybe we could treat ourselves to some fried chicken.
Indication sur les pépites de vérité. Ne ratez aucun détail important. Des sons et indices supplémentaires vous conduisent aux pépites de vérité cachées à condition de vous en approcher suffisamment. À vous l'expérience qu'elle rapporte. Capacité de munitions pour fusil augmentée. Vous transportez encore plus de balles de votre fusil. Votre capacité maximale pour les balles de fusil augmente de 100%. Ça rapporte de l'XP. On va essayer d'en avoir un max.
And that's when I met Sheriff Pat Garrett.
I read that you went toe-to-toe with him, sir. That backstabbing bastard with that tacked-on tin star. You challenged him to a showdown.
You read that in a dime novel?
It said he showed no fear as he took your measure with eyes like a rattlesnake. And that you killed him in a fair fight.
Is that what that Penny Dreadful said? No, boy. That ain't what I meant when I said I met Pat Garrett. So let me start again. I finally reached those damn stables.
Une supplémentaire en visant. Vous retenez votre souffle pour gagner en précision. Quand vous conservez un certain temps en cible, une cible en ligne de mire, le zoom augmente.
And stepped inside, and last thing I heard was Garrett's voice. That's not Billy.
And go on, how did it end?
And, boy, that was just the beginning.
So what happened? Did Garrett arrest you?
Yeah, after I came to,
J'ai pas envie de
Bastard
monter la
had clocked me with his
difficulté pour
coat.
arriver plus tard. Un mur où la difficulté
And the
va
kid
devenir
surrendered?
n'importe quoi.
When he realized there was no getting out of there alive.
So they locked you up in Lincoln?
Indeed they did. Sentenced me to hang right along with the kid.
Dommageant certains éléments de l'environnement, vous pouvez infliger des dégâts collatéraux à vos ennemis.
It's important to know that I was only riding with Billy so I could find the bastard I was after. He was with John Kinney's gang. They were sworn enemies of Billy's regulators.
Why were you after him?
I owed that son of a bitch a bullet for what he had done to me and mine. Instead, all I got for myself was a goddamn death sentence. Luckily, it was right around then that I heard Billy make his move. He shot Jim Bell and a few other guards as he made his getaway. Later, they wrote that some lady friend planted a pistol for him in the privy. What the papers didn't say is that Billy helped me escape, too. My first order of business was finding a firearm. Luckily, I located Deputy Bob Ollinger's mean-ass shotgun.
Carabine.
I saw Billy through the window, and he yelled that I should take to the rooftops to make my escape. So I did.
Anybody see Billy?
Note de balle.
That little son of a bitch shot Jim Bell!
The kids escaped, raised a huge ruckus. Hell yeah! That scatter gun was like a double-barreled howitzer. It could blow a man clear off his feet. You hardly had to aim the damn thing. Guards were everywhere looking for him.
You can't let the kid get away!
Anybody see him?
Yeah, you know you can't beat
I had to jump from roof to roof like a damn alley cat. I followed the planks where I could, but some of that wood was slippery as hell. The whole town was up in arms. And suddenly, I was a fugitive.
that kid escaping.
Garrett's gonna kick our ass!
Can't have gotten far! Kill him already!
C'est un passage où les ennemis arrivent à l'infini.
He's cutting us down like cordwood!
You bastard!
Limite de la règle de cette arme.
Go to jail!
Violence is not the answer.
Show him how to die!
Il me dit ça. Faut descendre. Oh. De monter. Oh putain.
So that bastard you were after, what did he do?
He did me and my family a grievous harm. But I knew if I was ever gonna find him, I would need to get my ever-loving ass out of there. I tried to be stealthy and sneak my way past.
This town didn't have a moment's peace.
You! But hell if they weren't all waiting for me. Apparently, some of them thought I was Billy.
You
Leave him to
hoodlums
me.
can go to hell.
He's in town somewhere. Stop it!
See, me and the kid shared a certain similarity in build and coloring. I was just glad I had Deputy Bob's mean-ass shotgun.
You can run. Can't hide forever. Surrender yourself. I don't get paid enough for this. Let's do this. Let's go.
There's children here.
So much lead was whizzing by my head, it was like everyone in Lincoln wanted to put me in the ground. I knew I needed to find a horse. Though I never did have a great fondness for those four-legged grass eaters. Smelly, sweaty, ungrateful beasts. We prize them too high, if you ask me.
I've got this. You won't get away with this. Damn him!
Innocent people.
Damn town's going to hell in a handbasket.
Un qui a dû se cacher et s'en sortir. Peu d'XP gratuite comme ça alors que je suis presque... Voilà, le niveau suivant. Et martelez votre recharge pour recharger plus vite. Vous jonglez avec les balles, martelez la touche de rechargement le plus vite possible quand vous rechargez pour changer les munitions plus rapidement. Cette compétence ne s'applique pas au rechargement par brisure de canon. Bon, mon arme a changé.
But where was the kid while you were busy getting shot at?
Gone. And that's when it occurred to me why Billy set me free.
Diversion!
Got that son of a bitch!
So I could be a hapless decoy and draw attention while he snuck out of town. I knew if I made it out of there in one piece, no one would put a price on my head.
Because everybody in Lincoln would be dead?
No, because they all thought I was Billy, and all that blame would fall on him. Meanwhile, Deputy Bob Ollinger was organizing a posse to put me down. He was already a mean son of a bitch, but he was doubly pissed that I stole his mean-ass shotgun. Anyway, It was me or them, and the only way forward led me straight to perdition. But the cards were dealt, and I had no choice but to
les
play.
balles passent à travers certaines surfaces très fines. Par exemple le bois ici du truc.
Show yourself, coward! Give it up! Oh! Now you're really pissing me off!
Get the women off the street!
Arm yourselves!
How the hell did he get away? We're gonna be deep shit when Pat gets back.
C'est de voir la tête, apporte plus d'XP.
Surrender yourself!
I'm here! Don't let him go!
Put down your weapon!
Ah. Rex. Alors oui, c'est celle plus souvent les bandits du jeu. Ouais. Ah. Et là, je n'ai plus à me fracasser de ça. J'utilise plus souvent la concentration pour faire des enchaînements et avoir de XP bonus. Il faut tuer les jetons.
I'll flank him! You hear me?
Demi-seconde près, je vais taper un petit 300 d'XP dans le coup.
Finally, I found what I was looking for. The stables on the edge of town.
I guess Billy saved your ass, taking out Bob Ollinger the way he did.
Billy didn't kill Bob.
Sure he did. He dispatched him right after he shot Deputy Bell.
No, sir. Because Bob came right up behind me, angry as hell that Billy had lit out. Hello, Bob, I said. I think you better let me go. And he says, I don't think so, boy. Not with my shotgun. So we stood there in the middle of the street, eyeball to eyeball. He intended to kill me, and I knew I had no choice but to defend myself.
Il faut essayer d'avoir d'être le plus près possible. Ah, pourquoi tu te casses le viseur? Ouais, je crois que le jeu est passé en difficile. Les duels, ça a toujours été la merde. C'est ça justement qui me posait le plus de problèmes.
I killed him in a fair fight. Everybody saw I had no damn choice. Well, Lincoln got a mite depopulated that day. Pat Garrett gunned down Billy 3 months later, so his escape was all for naught anyway.
Le faire à la loyale ou la déloyale et on a plus ou moins d'XP, j'imagine. Ok, c'est parce que j'avais pris celui-là, j'ai débloqué le revolver. Ok. Et du coup... on va avoir d'autres bonus. Cadence 30, vitesse 15... Portée 25, recul moins 30. Portée serait pas mal du tout. Revolver... Combo prolongé. Ah, ça serait bien. Ouais, ça je vais prendre, c'est sûr et certain. Combo plus élevé en concentration, de plus efficace concentré. Les multiplicateurs de combo augmentent alors de 2 au lieu d'1 à chaque victime, plus votre combo est épais, plus vous gagnez d'expérience. Ok, j'ai pris le seul qui n'augmente pas l'expérience.
So where'd you go after Lincoln?
Mexico. Until I realized nobody was looking for me. I ended up taking a job at the Rurales.
The Mexican Rurales?
I was hired to help them track down the cowboys.
Oh, boys.
The most vicious outlaw gang in Cochise County? Curly Bill Brocious? Johnny Ringo?
Led by old man Clanton himself.
They must have paid you a pretty penny to take them hombres on.
Not really. But truth be told, I had my own reasons for going after those boys.
Les cowboys étaient un énorme gang de hors-la-loi mené par Old machin, j'ai pas sûr.
So was the bastard you were after now riding with the cowboys?
Roscoe Bob Bryant was his name.
Oh.
But no, this time it was a different bastard I was after. The aforementioned Mr. Ringo. And yes, he was working for old man Clanton. I came upon them robbing a stagecoach, which wasn't surprising, being they were such murderous thieves and bastards. The bandits wore red scarves, so I knew they worked for the old man.
Over there!
I did my best to help those poor passengers. Moments later, the attackers were dead, and I checked the stagecoach to see how many passengers were still breathing. None. It was then I wondered if the rocks weren't hiding more bandits. Was that all of them? Or did I just hit the rear guard? I quickly got my answer. They attacked from on high like Apaches often did. They would appear in great numbers from above and rain down lead on their hapless enemies' heads, making use of the high ground and whatever else they had. Yep, the Apaches always appeared out of nowhere, and there never seemed to be an end to them.
Hold on. Were you attacked by Apaches? What happened to the cowboys?
Did I say they were Apaches? I said Clanton's cowboys attacked me Apache style. I was in a pitched battle, but I was holding my own against an overwhelming enemy force. See, at the time, I was still pretty green and would often blunder into regrettable situations.
Voilà.
but I just kept shooting at anything I could see up in those damn rocks. I didn't see Ringo, but I knew he was with the cowboys. He and Roscoe Bob had done me a dreadful wrong, and I was determined to have my revenge. But to get to Ringo, I knew I'd have to fight my way past these other assholes first. Unfortunately, I was running out of ammo. Another perfect example of my relative inexperience as a hunter of men. I immediately knew that a tactical retreat was called for, as my vengeful fury was much less impressive without the bullets to back it up. Finally, they managed to corner me. Trapped as I was, the odds of my survival seemed pretty slim.
Bien encore, hein.
Serendipity was on my side as I suddenly spotted a way out of my predicament. I ran ahead as if the devil himself was after me. Bullets were whizzing by my ears, but I wasn't about to roll over and die. I just kept running like there was no tomorrow. Because there wouldn't be if Clanton and his men caught up. As I was scurrying around those caves, I thought, what was I thinking? Going up against a gang like this. They were hunting me like I was game. I just kept running, not knowing where the hell I was going.
Where's he gonna run to now?
And that's when something miraculous happened. Like manna from heaven. I found the desiccated remains of what looked like an Apache warrior. The old weapon next to him supplied me with some much-needed ammunition. Bat Masterson once told me it was more important to be lucky than good, and he would know.
Pour avoir accès à ça. Niveau suivant dans pas trop longtemps.
And imagine my surprise when I found a fistful of dynamite to go along with that ammo. That stroke of good fortune evened the odds and bolstered my confidence. It was time to turn the tables. Time for the prey to become the predator. Time for the hunted to become the hunter. Time.
All right, Jesus, we get it. They were right where you wanted them.
That's right, Jack. I was done running. The old man's boys were not expecting that. No, sir.
Where's he going?
I came at them like a wildcat. My fury knew no bounds. It was finally time for that old man to pay for his sins. I yelled out at the top of my lungs, "Clanton, I'm coming for you!" A little stealth might have made more sense, to be perfectly honest. Because that old fool had a Gatling gun and enough bullets to last him till Kingdom Come. But I knew I could not let that deter me. Not if I was to find and kill Ringo. I needed to get that old man off that gun.
Bien de plus en plus chaud là.
Most everyone thought it was the Ruales who had come up against him in Guadalupe Canyon, but it was just me.
Non, les salauds quoi, avec la dynamite. Peut-être si j'utilisais le ralenti justement. Bon là, sur la personne qui la tire. Qui aide. Qui chez soi.
Apparently, one of the cowboys made it out of there alive and told Ike and Billy Clanton that it wasn't a Mexican who took their father's life that day. They just assumed it was one of the Earps, and that little misunderstanding eventually led to that legendary gunfight at the OK Corral.
Zéro sur 3.
A few weeks after that dust-up at the OK Corral, I was still after Johnny Ringo. I had tracked him and the cowboys to their hideout at a sawmill, and they were loaded for bear.
So, what exactly did Johnny Ringo do to piss you off?
Well, him and that other bastard.
Roscoe Bob Bryant?
Yep. They both deserve to die, and I promise I'll tell you why. But first I need to tell you about the Cowboys' new boss, Curly Bill Brocious.
Earp's coming! Get ready, boys.
Curly Bill took charge of the Cowboys upon the old man's demise, and after that gunfight at the OK Corral, the Clantons wanted revenge. So they murdered Morgan Earp and grievously wounded his older brother, Virgil.
Souvent le...
Wyatt and Doc went on what became known as the Vendetta Ride, hunting those outlaws down. So when I showed up, that's who they thought I was.
Putain, j'avais... Je croyais que j'avais le shotty.
There were killers around every corner, all wearing red bandanas. That's how the cowboys identified each other. And I was beginning to wish I had one myself. But I wasn't about to let Ringo walk away unscathed. And that's what drove me forward.
They say that Ringo was infernally fast.
I hardly saw anyone faster, boy. Certainly not Wyatt Earp. That man was all hat and no cap.
Damn, he's hard to hit.
Earp wasn't much of a match for him, but Doc Holliday might have taken him.
That lunger should have kept his nose out of it. He never charged anyone for the murder of Morgan Earp.
But everybody knew that Curly shot him in the back. That was common knowledge.
Yeah, maybe so. But Ringo had nothing to do with it. He was just being loyal to a friend.
Is that what you call it? Being loyal. Well, to get to that loyal friend, I had to pass by some buzzsaws as big as a man.
Ouais, une pile de vérité, je sais pas trop quoi faire ici. Oh. Tout pour l'XP que je cherche. Ouais, je m'en fous un peu.
Excuse me, sir. I have a question.
What's that, Dwight?
After old man Clanton died, why didn't his son take over the Cowboys?
Because Ike Clanton was dumber than a box of rocks and a yellow belly to boot. Now, where was I?
Taking down the entire cowboy gang single-handed.
Indeed I was, Jack. Though it wasn't easy, as those boys had good cover.
Can't believe you keep missing.
Ah putain, j'en ai 5, je crois qu'on peut en avoir que 3 au max. Ah, c'est à l'infini. Oh putain. Moi qui étais en train de me dire, ah bon, il en reste plus que 5, on a plus dans la boîte. Que de dire.
You just met your match.
Chargement rapide des revolvers, rechargez vos revolvers de 33 mouvements, vous pouvez recharger le cylindre de revolver pendant qu'il tourne, c'est-à-dire 60%. 50, déjà. Augmente, agilité augmentée en concentration, réflexes sont fulgurants, vous vous déplacez et courez 50% en concentration. En concentration. On va prendre ça sur. Sinon en cartouche et dynamite augmentée, vous transportez encore plus de cartouches de carabine et d'explosifs. Vos capacités maximales augmentent de 100% avec les cartouches et carabines de carabine et 3 pour les bâtons de dynamite. Les pics de vérité, il y a 3 secondes, je doute qu'il y en ait en deuxième, bon. 1, 2... Pas ça.
There were carts everywhere, piles of lumber, and God knows what else for people to hide behind. That really was one hell of a sawmill. Quite an impressive operation.
J'essaie de là avec le rondin. On va essayer de couper avec le...
And where was Curly Bill? Did you see him?
I'm about to get to that, Ben. Patience. I'm painting a picture here. There was this beautiful waterfall and a crystal clear stream that led to a verdant valley that was truly...
Consider your picture painted. What happened next?
Well, finally the bastards that were still alive made a last stand. Curly Bill, Johnny Ringo, and his compadres took off into the lumber yard, and I followed after.
Salut Sorix. Pour l'ivrogne, la rogne.
Are you saying they ran? Cowardice was not in Ringo nor Curly Bill's nature.
No, sir. I never said they were running scared. They just wanted me, you know.
Time to dance! You working for Wyatt Earp? Did that sumbitch Earp send you to kill me?
Oh putain. Décidément, j'aime pas trop le duel. Ah, de la dynamite. J'ai des balles. Voilà des balles. C'était le boss.
You can't hide forever, boy. Got another sand showing up here all by your lonesome. Some more?
Brocious gave me no choice but to take his life. But Ringo was nowhere to be found.
I knew you didn't kill Ringo, because he was found dead in a different location altogether.
To this day, his killer is still unknown.
Indeed. Took me a few months before I finally tracked his ass to West Turkey Creek Canyon.
That's incredible, sir. I always thought that Doc Holliday was the one that killed him.
Sorry I had to ruin the legend for you, boy. But the legend ain't always true.
Décalé parce que pour la vitesse, ils avaient uniquement parlé de QED pour régler le rapprochement, mais ils n'avaient jamais parlé qu'on pouvait également se descendre et monter, ce qui forcément aide un petit peu. Compétence. Des bâtons de dynamite. Explosion plus grande. Carabine chargée en concentration. Une fois cette compétence ultra rapide apprise, vous n'avez plus à recharger manuellement vos carabines en concentration. Réticule aimanté en concentration. Ouais. Visée rapide, alignez vos cibles le plus rapidement, vous êtes 30% plus rapide, plus vite avec n'importe quelle arme. Éclusion dynamite en plein vol. Après avoir lancé un bâton, il le suit, ça va être chiant. Plus de concentration pour le tir en pleine tête. Les tirs en pleine tête améliorent votre concentration. Chaque tir en pleine tête réussi vous vaut 50% de concentration plus que la normale. Indique les ennemis derrière vous. Générosité sépare la dynamite en plein vol. Exécution des ennemis plus proches. Chargement en courant. Mal. Chargement rapide et revolver, agilité augmentée en concentration, dégâts augmentés en concentration, plus de concentration dans la barre, vous redoublez d'attention, la concentration dure 50% plus longtemps, et la barre descend moins vite, pillage de dynamite, vos ennemis ont parfois des surprises, alerte, arme rechargée en concentration, il vous suffit de vous concentrer sur être préparé à tirer, votre arme équipée est rechargée automatiquement à chaque fois que vous lancez la concentration. Dégâts supplémentaires en combo, vos massacres sont encore plus expéditifs. À partir du 4ème niveau de combo, vos balles infligent 2 fois plus de dégâts. Échec et mat, concentration lors des combos, descendez plusieurs ennemis de suite pour recouvrer votre attention. Votre barre de concentration se remplit complètement quand vous atteignez un niveau de combo multiple de 6 et c'est un boss. Blablabla. La portée en plus, ça doit être vraiment très bien. Après c'est une autre arme. Apparemment. Ici on va essayer d'avoir ça. On fera plus souvent des ralentis pour faire.
I was paid a healthy bounty for Ringo and Curly Bill, and realized there was real money to be made. That's why I went after Henry Plummer.
Now, wasn't he the sheriff who augmented his income by shaking down miners and robbing gold shipments?
That's the one.
Oh, yeah, I remember him. He ran that
Remember.
gang of thieving outlaws called the Innocents.
So it's true that you went toe-to-toe with him?
Indeed I did, son. Indeed I did.
Femme au col Taylor.
I knew I needed resources if I was going to track down Roscoe Bob Bryant, and hunting Plummer looked like a good way to get rich quick. As the local vigilantes exposed him as the leader of the bandits, and put a generous price on his head. Plummer rallied his gang to plunder one last gold mine before making their escape, and that's where I thought I'd find him.
Faites des trousses nuggets. Un expert.
It makes me nervous standing so close to all these goddamn barrels of gunpowder.
Why would you be nervous? No one has the cojones to come after us. As long as you don't light up a cigar, we're fine.
As my late father pointed out to me more than once, God made men, but Samuel Colt made them equal.
Ah ok, les barils explosifs n'avaient pas chargé à cause de la distance. Peu de déception.
I knew that dynamite wasn't mine, so I decided the polite thing would be to return it.
Des poules à XP. Sûrement devoir venir ici plus tard. Oh. Faire des trucs rigolos. Peut-être pas. Tiens, elles ont respawn. Eh.
It was the biggest gold rush since Sutter's Mill in '48. Unfortunately, prospectors weren't the only ones drawn to those riches. There were thieves and killers, robbing travelers and hijacking gold shipments.
Ouais.
Like those that ran with Plummer.
Que ça rapporte.
Some were just regular folks I knew from town, drawn by greed and easy pickings. Charlie Crow, the blacksmith.
Put that moron out of his misery.
James, who worked in the stable. Sam and Jeremiah Barber, the butcher's sons. Ordinary citizens who lived a double life. Stealing and thieving and murdering their neighbors.
Ah. Un genre.
this arrest were veterans of the Civil War. Stone-cold killers trained on the bloody fields of Shiloh and Antietam. Plummer had a lot of men on his payroll. A hell of a lot. That son of a bitch pretended to protect the public with one hand while stealing them blind with the other.
Moins de cadence de tir.
He set up a defensive perimeter which I had no idea how to breach. Dangerous, desperate individuals. I was outnumbered and in way over my head, but I was too damn stubborn and stupid to realize it. They must have thought I was tough, or had some kind of death wish, seeing as there were barrels of gunpowder everywhere.
Watch out for the goddamn gunpowder!
One stray bullet, one stray spark, and I'd be blown to hell and gone. Did I have any second thoughts about what I was doing? No.
No.
I thought I was some kind of hero.
Non. Pas de plus nugget. Déçu.
I finally made it past and headed on to meet my destiny. But first, I had something I needed to figure out. I had a few ideas on how to get into that mine, but once I made my decision, I knew there was no turning back. So my first thought was to enter the nearest mine portal. I saw an entrance. Made sense. It was the quickest way in, but that also made it more dangerous, as there would undoubtedly be enemy pickets posted along the way.
Le truc c'est que c'est bien gentil de dire ça, en plus de combat donc plus d'XP, mais on passe par là, est-ce qu'on n'aurait pas plutôt un... Le kit de... Bon, je vais là et ensuite je fais demi-tour. Après faut savoir quand faire demi-tour.
Besides, once you enter a mine like that, it's easy to get all turned around. And that confusing maze of corridors wouldn't even be the worst of it. Some of those shafts could be as deep as hell. A single stumble or misstep can easily end in a deadly plunge to oblivion.
De vérité proche.
I will drop you down a mine shaft.
Ah. On va voir où est l'autre con là qui est en train de crier.
I do not deserve to die like this.
shit up. Quick reflexes often make up for a lack of common sense. Luckily, I was never one to be easily bushwhacked. I would just need to be careful not to blow myself to kingdom come.
De vérité proche. Conduire en haut vers ma droite.
With all that gunpowder and dynamite everywhere, a body has to know what he's shooting at.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Heureusement ça traverse pas. Ah! Fallait le voir.
One wrong bullet could have turned that mine into a dad-blasted tube. I freely admit my plan of attack was not just moronic, but clearly insane.
Ah, y'a de l'eau.
It's a good thing that I abandoned that ridiculous plan before I even tried it. Instead, I spotted a ladder, a way into the mine from the opposite side.
Ok. Anyway, klar.
It was a long way around, but that approach seemed more sensible at the time. Of course, being I had a problem with heights, that scaffolding scared the bejesus out of me.
Ah oui. Ah bah oui.
Climbing down that ladder required some caution. Because even though I had a younger man's reflexes, no man can dodge a damn bullet while climbing down a rickety ladder. I was determined not to give up.
J'avais un centimètre trop court, quoi.
That Sheriff Plummer seemed quite the despicable character. When the vigilantes discovered what the sheriff was up to, people were outraged. That 10,000 they put on his head would go a long way in helping me find old Bob. And I had made it my mission to settle that score come hell or high water. But first, I would have to make a choice.
Place the
Take
bonus.
the elevator or climb the ladder.
J'imagine que l'ascenseur on peut utiliser. Ah. Russe. Salut Winston. trop savoir qu'il y a un ennemi qui m'attend le plus.
Plummer was a mad dog killer, and the people of Nevada City deserved better.
Nevada City? Well, I thought Plummer met his maker in Bannock, Montana.
Get out here!
Ah ok.
Right, well, he was the sheriff of both places at one time or another, but that's neither here nor there. The point was, taking him down would save a lot of lives, including my own.
Et puis la merde.
Gonna blow you into next week! This day is just getting worse and worse for you, ain't it?
Henry Plummer was clearly unhinged, and I could see right away that this was gonna take some doing.
I got a lot more dynamite than you! I'm going all medieval on your ass! I need some help here! Come on, boys! Take this cocksucker out! Man can shoot! Gotta give him that!
Donc les plans de couverture. C'est bien.
What do you think you're doing? I can shoot too! Oh! 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 You ain't taking me! You killed an innocent man!
On va voir balle par la droite, la gauche.
So that's how Henry Plummer died. Him and his crew were worth their weight in gold. And now, I was officially a bounty hunter.
Sa portée et sa puissance de pénétration, est-ce que ça veut dire que a plus de chances de traverser des objets ou... Cartouche à force puissance utilise ce chef-d'œuvre d'armurerie lui confère un gain de portée sensible. Portée 35, dégâts 15, dispersion 15. C'est marrant.
So, did you finally go after that Bob feller?
Well, I heard word he was in Kansas with John Wesley Hardin. So that's where I went.
Where in Kansas?
Abilene. Why do you ask, Ben?
No reason.
Was Hardin as fast as Ringo?
Ringo was fast, but John Wesley was as fast as the devil himself. Hell, he killed his first man at 15. From that day forward, he had a price on his head and wouldn't back down for nobody, not even Wild Bill Hickok himself.
La mort du moins vif.
I dodged death many a time, and that night in Abilene was no different.
Gros point de spawn.
I thought the Texas Rangers got heart.
Yeah, that's what they want you to believe. I was there with the intention of finding that bastard Bob and collecting the bounty on John Wesley. It was cold and a witch's tit and a brass bra that night as I fought my way past his loyal compadres.
Je sais pourquoi je l'aime bien. C'est ça? Ouais, c'est... Bon, ça, j'ai celui-là. J'aime vraiment bien ce revolver. Dans quel jeu est-ce que j'ai déjà entendu cette musique? C'est pas la seule musique que j'ai déjà entendue dans un autre jeu. On a vu une dans le jeu. Dur à dire. Ça... Ouais, ça pourrait être Dying Light. Même Death, donc... Très bien ça. Rentrer dans le salon ici, je crois. J'avais joué au jeu, mais je l'avais pas fini. Version crack. Ah. J'aime bien. Pour la cadence de tir, ça vaut le coup.
To the very same saloon we're sitting in today. Look around and imagine this place painted in blood. Hardin was waiting for me, and... Wait, I'm jumping the gun here. Let me back up and give you some background on this sumbitch. He deserves that much. Don't you think so, Ben? John Wesley Hardin was a killer.
J'ai eu la peine de prendre le...
By the end, he confessed to taking the lives of 42 men. He was a bona fide folk hero by then, and had amassed a gang of armed miscreants and other assorted thugs. He and his men set up camp outside of town, and I was hoping Bob was among them.
God damn it! Shoot that son of a bitch!
They didn't ask why I was there. They knew. Most of them were wanted as well. I figured Hardin was here somewhere, but to get to him, I'd have to get past his gun hand. I had to spill a lot of blood to find out Hardin wasn't in that camp. He was carousing in town with his closest friends. Hardin's boys apparently didn't want me to reach the Bull's Head. some were hightailing it into town to inform their jefe of my unwelcomed presence.
Bien le viseur, j'ai bien la cadence de tir. Ça prend des balles par contre.
Yeah, you know you can't beat me.
Oh oui, on y va.
Tell Hardin someone's coming for him.
Stop that son bitch!
Let the boys know we got another law dog.
Les voix viennent de la droite, c'est perturbant.
You ain't beating me, boys!
Non, il n'y a pas le... Crevé aussi, ouais. Pas de plaisir. Non.
I wondered if Bob was among them.
Bien la compétence pour trouver les pépites de vérité, mais en fin de compte, faut quand même être à 2 mètres du bazar, donc. Voilà. Oh, elle est rentrée dans ton champ de vision, tu es à 1 mètre d'elle. Elle est là. Merci.
And I steeled myself for the fight ahead. For as good as I was, deep down I wondered if John Wesley wasn't just a little bit better.
C'est quoi? C'est quoi le rapport? C'est juste en trip.
Before I could test my mettle against Hardin, however, I would first need to dispatch his cadre of hired killers. Most of these degenerates were beyond redemption, but John Wesley might have been a different story. I didn't learn until later that that night was in fact his birthday celebration.
Ah, des balles. Fuck.
I think I already mentioned that I found Hardin in this very saloon.
Yeah, you know you can't beat
À
me.
l'intérieur. Ouais.
Middle ain't that sucker.
C'est bon. Peut-être qu'à l'intérieur. Salut Naneji. Je comptais essayer de faire les achievements. C'est pas fait. C'est une partie, j'ai désinstallé, mais c'est pas pour autant qu'on ne les fera pas. Et pas tout de suite. Ces derniers temps, j'étais extrêmement fatigué, j'avais un cycle du sommeil complètement niqué, du coup j'ai pas stream. Si j'avais peut-être stream hier ou avant-hier, j'aurais peut-être fait un DLC, mais pas la motivation. Ici encore, je suis assez fatigué. Le problème c'est que j'ai fait la nuit, puis j'ai fait le matin lundi, mais le week-end j'avais pas pu récupérer. Pas pu beaucoup dormir. Et ici du coup ben j'ai complètement niqué.
Suffice it to say, nobody there was happy to see me.
Et ici demain je fais la nuit. Là ça va être bien pour faire cette nuit, pour me préparer justement pour demain. Et
In fact, I felt a certain hostility.
You just met your match.
I was disappointed that neither Bob nor John Wesley were among the dead. But that was short-lived, as a moment later I was facing down the fastest gun in the West. I felt a bolt of adrenaline, or maybe that was fear. He was well known for his tricks, and I knew I'd need my own if I was ever to defeat him.
Bien sur lui, putain. Va venir. Et...
No, wait! He didn't hit me then. I'm sure of it.
Pas évident cette merde. Il va dégainer. Il est où mon putain de viseur là? Ah ok.
But being inebriated as he was, he didn't count his shots. And now, he was at my mercy.
Fallait juste en éviter une.
So he didn't die?
Rester droit et ensuite tirer en fait.
Years later, after he was free, some restless Avenger took his life. Shot him in the back in a saloon just like this one. Anybody up for another beer? Ben?
Et du coup, j'ai pas eu la pépite qui se trouvait ici.
Thank you, darling. Yeah, some say revenge is a dish best served cold.
So whatever happened to that Bob guy you were after?
Personally, I'd like to hear some of your other adventures. Like, I don't know, did you ever go toe-to-toe with a red man?
Ah non, il a jamais tiré 6 balles. Ah, même 12 d'ailleurs.
Yes, I did, Ben. I remember once I was after this renegade Apache, Grey Wolf. Strangely enough, revenge was also his primary motivation.
C'est dégueulasse. Ouais, là, la traduction, elle était bien, là.
A bounty was put on Grey Wolf's head, and that's how I came to hunt him in the mountains. Mountains so high they tickled the nether regions of heaven. Grey Wolf was a Chiricahua Apache medicine man who had led a war party in revenge for a massacre against his people. The U.S. Army had attacked his tribe during his daughter's sacred sunrise ceremony, and the slaughter was unspeakable. I understood his anger, as there's nothing more traumatic than seeing those you love die in a cruel and painful death.
Et donc voilà. Salut binocle. Juste quand Mister X part, je crois qu'il y a une corrélation là-dedans.
Right from the beginning, I couldn't shake the feeling that Grey Wolf was watching my every move. He led a band of young Apache warriors who wanted retribution and were more than willing to die for him.
Complètement crevé, mais ça devrait aller. Je veux dire, il y a pas longtemps, j'ai complètement niqué mon cycle du sommeil. Du coup, pas beaucoup de streams, pas beaucoup de vidéos, tout ça, tout ça. Vas-y, fais-le.
They saw me before I saw them.
Crevé.
And it crossed my mind that maybe this wasn't such a good idea. But now that the shooting had started, there was no backing down. It was rugged country, the winter home of the Chiricahuas, and that's why they had retreated there.
Ah ouais. J'aime bien le petit changement des armes. Ils améliorent. On va voir ce qu'il vaut maintenant. Quand tu dis planter, c'est en blue screen ou il freeze ou un truc dans le genre? Pour que ce soit effectif.
I admit to having some regrets about going after them the way I did. But then again, I got a lot of those.
On va peut-être vérifier la rame. Rame ou la carte de main.
Did you find Grey Wolf?
Not at that moment, but I did find the entrance to their hideout.
Je sais pas, franchement, mais enfin, si t'as un écran bleu, des frises, des trucs dans le genre, c'est peut-être une barrette de RAM. Regarde justement si t'as pas enlève une barre, enfin, si t'as deux barrettes de RAM, enlève-en une, regarde si le PC tourne bien. S'il y a des bugs, ben enlève celle que t'as laissée et remets l'autre à la place. Et regarde si ça fonctionne. Si ça fonctionne, Ça veut dire qu'il y a une des deux rames qui est niquée. Si t'as toujours le problème, c'est que ça vient soit du disque dur comme tu dis. À ce moment-là, normalement t'aurais un crash et si je me trompe pas, limite il te dirait que tu trouves pas le disque dur ou un truc dans le genre. Si le disque dur se déconnecte quand tu l'utilises, si c'est celui qui a Windows, je crois que le PC il freeze, il fait écran bleu tout le bordel. Si au démarrage il ne te dit pas qu'il y a de soucis au niveau du disque dur, ça ne doit pas trop être le disque dur. Sinon, si c'est un disque dur qui n'a pas Windows, à ce moment-là, tu verrais éventuellement toutes les icônes, etc. qui sont installées sur ce disque dur-là qui deviennent blanches sur le bureau.
See, back then, I had a stubborn
Je
streak
sais
a
pas,
mile
c'est...
wide, and I wasn't about to back down.
So it was like pitch black in there?
Actually, it was pretty well lit, as they had torches on the walls.
C'est assez dur à déterminer comme ça sans avoir pu voir par soi-même, c'est évident. Voilà. Ouais. Moi c'est vraiment, il faut que j'achète donc le bras pour le micro. Je m'achète un nouvel écran et ensuite je vais faire une petite upgrade aussi. Henry. Alors c'est des Winchester. Ouais.
How big was this cave?
Big as hell, Ben. Chiricahua had hid out there during the Indian Wars.
Sur F pour allumer une lampe de poche.
They thought it was haunted with the ghosts of those murdered by the horse soldiers.
The cave was haunted with dead Indian ghosts?
To be honest, I was more concerned with the live ones than the dead ones.
How come you know so much about engines?
A few years back, I was married to two Mescalero women.
At the same time?
Yeah, they were sisters. Polygyny is traditional among the Mescalero.
So what happened?
Oh, I had to get out of there. Those girls never shut up. Both of them nagging at me all the time. Drove me half crazy. Haven't seen them since.
No, I mean, what happened with Grey Wolf?
Oh, well, I pursued him into the Cave of Death.
Attention. Ça fait toujours du bien, une petite upgrade. Moi aussi, hein, franchement, c'est pour les jeux plus récents, etc. Ça m'énerve parce que je vois bien que mon GPU, il n'y a aucun souci, il tourne à 40-60% sur les derniers jeux, et mon CPU, il est 100%. Surtout avec OBS.
I came upon this flooded grotto, and that's when I saw him. He came to me unarmed and unafraid. His voice echoed in the shadows. And I sensed he meant me no harm.
You carry great darkness in your heart, and if you do not release it, it will claim your soul.
The sound of his voice put some kind of ancient Indian spell on me. As his story unfolded in my mind.
You will come to this place again and kill many more men, and the darkness will grow until it consumes everything that you are. The soul would have no rainbow if the eye had no tears.
He said I was a great warrior, a coyote man, unequaled by any other pale-faced warrior, or something like that.
The snakes will bite shadows of your past until a venom poisons your heart, and an echo of the song of the dead summons the spirits deep from within the mountains.
I didn't quite get what he was saying, but there was definitely snakes. And indeed, his warriors surrounded me and attacked me like hungry wolverines. They couldn't stop me, though, and Grey Wolf wasn't in the mood for idle talk.
Oh non.
I swear I couldn't see any way out of this trap. But suddenly, one just appeared. Kind of like a miracle.
Ouais, ils sont bien fait violer quand même. C'est que j'ai Seven depuis... J'ai installé mon PC, j'ai pas d'antivirus, j'ai rien, j'ai jamais eu de soucis. Ouais. De plus et ça descend moins vite. Je peux pas dire. Un bon petit jeu.
I felt like I would be lost in that damn cave forever.
T'as piraté pour le plaisir et t'as fait ça en pote, toi.
Outside, perched on the edge of a precipice, overlooking a thundering whitewater river. To get where I was going required several leaps of faith, but no way in hell I was turning back. I chased after him, determined to make him explain the meaning of all that mumbo-jumbo.
Mumbo-jumbo's right. Are you making this all up as you go?
A few details may be fuzzy, brother, but I am relating exactly what happened to me. There were dozens of Apache warriors aiming at me from on high.
Dozens?
Well, maybe not dozens, but there was a lot of them.
At least 3 or 4.
Well, more than that, little lady. steep climb up creek ahead of me and scrambled up those rocks like a mountain goat. I was determined to locate Grey Wolf and find out exactly what the hell he was trying to tell me.
Avec mon shotty que je vais faire grand chose à cette distance là par contre.
And wouldn't you know it, that crafty son of a bitch led me right into a trap.
What kind of trap?
Well, son, there had to be at least 100 Apaches surrounding me.
C'est bien qu'ils mettent une petite flèche pour indiquer où c'est parce que
God be my witness.
Oh, come on. Who are you kidding?
Hey, I believe you. Come on, tell us how it ended.
All right, but I'm not gonna drag this out. Where were we?
You were surrounded by 100 Apache warriors.
Well, I didn't take the time to count them exactly, but there were a lot of them. And in the end, a path appeared before me that I had not seen before. I followed it as I desperately needed to find out what Grey Wolf was trying to tell me.
Ah, 4 sur 4.
But it was like that son of a bitch disappeared into thin air. Never did find him. And never did collect my goddamn bounty. Thank you, darling. It's interesting how the truth can sometimes seem might malleable, depending upon your point of view.
Like how those dime novels make you out to be something you're not?
Jack, don't be starting trouble.
No, he's right. They do tend to exaggerate.
Did they exaggerate your part in taking down the Daltons?
Well, I was there in the flesh, boy, so I saw what happened firsthand. Those Daltons were lawmen once, before they all went bad, robbing banks and trains clear across the territory. Until Coffeeville, of course. I was one of the citizens who took up arms that day.
Fighting on the side of the right?
I did my best, sir. We all did.
Grey Wolf, l'homme né de Sinapache, a proféré une étrange mise en garde, exhortant Silas à ne pas laisser empoisonner par l'amertume. La concentration n'est pas remplie, en appuyant sur A identifie temporairement les ennemis à proximité. Ça va être pire qu'avant.
It was early morning. One of my friends was a local gunsmith, and he handed out firearms to anybody who'd take one. You see, the Daltons got it in their heads to rob 2 banks at the same time. 2 banks on the same damn street.
On va l'utiliser, vu que je viens de le débloquer.
The story was Bob Dalton's girl was always writing him about how he had no ambition. Oh, you're nobody next to Jesse James, she'd say. Finally, the bastard... Whoop.
Je vais voir s'il n'y avait pas un truc caché. Ça.
Well, you're nobody next to Jesse James, she'd say. Finally, the bastard took his brothers to Coffeyville just to shut her up. Well, the locals recognized the Daltons right off. Before they could get away, half the town took up arms to defend their property. Their first mistake was pulling a job in their own damn hometown. The boys grew up in Coffeyville, so everybody knew them. The bank teller tricked them, telling them the time lock on the safe wouldn't open till 9:30. Well, that gave the locals enough time to prepare an ambush for those sons of bitches.
He got us a hero. Put some holes in him!
Comment ça calme. Ça doit être derrière. Ouvrir cette porte.
The brothers paid dearly for their stupidity, but everybody knows they had it coming.
There's more to it than that. I read all about that day, so I know for a fact that it went down very differently. First of all, it was high noon. A posse of U.S. deputy marshals were on the rooftop across the street.
Get ready, boys. They're gonna make a move.
The lawmen had been tracking the Daltons for months. Now they finally had them dead to rights. Among them was a bounty hunter feared by many a lawbreaker. The marshals tried to get the Daltons to surrender.
They'll give up eventually. We just gotta wait for some bitches out.
This bounty hunter knew that the brothers were far too proud to ever lay down their guns. So he went in there alone to confront those criminals. One of the marshals shouted, "Where are you going? Are you crazy?"
Hey, where do you think you're going, dumbass? That rifle's mine.
But he paid him no mind. He saw a way to get around to the back of the bank.
Dégâts supplémentaires en combo de massacre sont encore plus... à partir du 4ème.
Then he figured out how to hit the Daltons from a direction they weren't expecting. From above. Fortunately, a water tower was right there.
Écarter l'histoire. Temps de réagir au moins. Ça va.
From above. Fortunately, a water tower was right there. A moment later, he was climbing up a steep ladder, laughing at danger as he did.
À l'étage.
It was brave men like him who risked their lives to tame this wild country.
We've got company.
Heroic men like him, who did what other men couldn't or wouldn't to make this country free.
Is that Silas Green?
Davy Crockett,
Son of a
died
bitch!
defending the Alamo.
That's right. Run! I thought I was... That's Silas Greaves! What the hell?
Blam! Blam! He came away victorious, taking down those thieving Daltons. His name was Silas Greaves, and when the dust finally settled, he was the last man standing.
Sorry, kid, but that just wasn't the way it happened. It was early evening, not high noon. I was late to the party and Coffeyville was already up in arms. The Daltons blew up a safe and were all set to hightail it out of there. Those pathetic deputies surrounding the bank were dropping like flies. I'd been tracking those jokers for months, waiting for them to do something reckless. And finally, they did. Those stupid bastards decided to rob 2 banks at the same time in the same town where everybody knew them. But they still had friends in Coffeyville.
Heureusement, c'est des semi-boss, on va dire.
Hey, we got us a hero. What's rules in them?
Those friends came after me like a pack of wild dogs, tooth and nail. They were coming at me from all directions. I caught sight of the Daltons running with the money and didn't want to lose them. Problem was, they knew the town better than I did. And to top it off, I found myself in the middle of another shootout entirely.
Did the Daltons throw you up in somebody's house?
No, it was the Smiths, I believe. They were cousins of the Daltons. And they were shooting at the Browns, who were shooting at the Daltons. Which wasn't any surprise, because those 2 families have been feuding forever. And since the Joneses are related to the Browns, they shot at the Smiths, pissing off the Heimhoffers, whose daughter recently married a Smith. Well, bullets were flying every which way as all the old feuds in Kansas caught fire all at once. There was a hell of a lot of pissed off people in Coffeyville that day. But that's just the way life is sometimes. Shit happens.
Alors, on y est. Et voilà. C'est ça, nickel. Et donc, on a 30% de dégâts et vitesse de visée 25.
The Dalton boys knew I would never give up. Those Daltons weren't the sharpest knives in the drawer, but they always stood together. They set a trap to slow me down and allow at least 2 of them to escape. The 3rd brother stayed behind to plant me, just in case that trap of theirs didn't work. It was Emmett, the youngest, and he decided to stand his ground and face me down.
I ain't afraid of you, Silas Greaves. This is where it ends for you.
He was determined to protect his brothers. And I understood how he felt. Taking me on all by his lonesome wasn't exactly a recipe for a long time.
But Emmett Dalton survived the robbery in Coffeyville. He's the only Dalton who did.
They say he was shot 23 times.
Well, Dwight, who do you think put all those damn holes in him? but I have to admit, that boy had grit.
Ça va être bien aussi. Je sais plus où c'est pour la pénétration des balles. La dernière mission que je vais faire
It took me a couple of days to track the Daltons down.
sur le stream.
They can't get away with
On voit
this.
ça
And in that time, a whole
peut-être
posse
demain.
of local vigilantes offered to lend a hand.
Quand je ferai.
We'll track him to the ends of the earth.
They seemed as determined as me to find those outlaws. But as we headed into those swamps, it was like I had my own private army. There was no way those boys were getting away this time.
It was early fall, right? Beautiful time of year. At least you had the weather on your side.
Not by my recollection. It was damp and foggy as hell. It was tough to stay on a true course. So we kept an eye out for landmarks. It was autumn. The maple trees were in full color, red as blood. The rains that year were torrential, so the whole area was flooded. The vigilantes had spread out wide, and pretty soon I couldn't see anybody.
Un sur trois.
Plant them where they stand.
Except for some bitches ahead of me wanted to do me harm. So I had to face them alone.
Tout le... qui était demandé déjà en français en fait.
I wondered why my compatriots didn't come running when they heard the shots.
So did you find the Daltons?
Not yet, but I did have the questionable pleasure of meeting a few of their friends. The boys had established quite a reputation by that time, so they attracted all manner of riffraff to their cause. Point being, I was under serious attack.
Level 6.
And my reinforcements was nowhere to be seen.
Impeccable. Un jeu de western. C'est tout. Le Six Shooter. Il s'appelle.
But luckily, a barn materialized as if right before my eyes. I scrambled up top to get a better view. But just ended up falling inside.
So, how did you get out?
The barn doors was open. About right then, I saw some suspicious characters running for the bushes. Of course, I followed them. But that goddamn swamp was like a goddamn maze, and pretty soon I had no goddamn idea where I was. Steve? So I just started walking, and pretty soon, Steve? Steve?
Huh? Oh, no, I'm listening.
Ouais.
Indians surrounded me
Un
from
petit bug
all
de
sides.
Windows encore.
No. I just wanted to make sure Steve was paying attention. Now, where was I?
You were following the Daltons through a swamp?
That's right. See, Steve? Dwight's paying attention.
No, I'm listening. I was just resting my eyes.
So, where was I?
The Daltons.
Non, ça va.
Right.
C'est assez
See,
fun
there's a
comme jeu,
reason
c'est pas...
so many outlaw gangs
pas
are made up of brothers. Being a brother is a very sacred thing.
On entend
It's a
les...
bond like no other.
les duels. Non, parfois. C'est un petit jeu fun. Agréable. J'aime bien. Ça c'est bien. Les ennemis sont marqués, tout ça.
Stop that, son bitch!
So did you ever find the damn Daltons?
Not yet. But I did find a few of their cousins. Two Kansans breed like rabbits. Or Smiths or Heimhoffers or who knows what. But hell, what's more important than family? I bet Ben knows what I'm talking about.
Oh là là.
Bounty hunters! Stop that, son bitch! Take that asshole out!
Les deux, je me fais toujours niquer comme ça.
Bounty hunters! Stop that, son bitch!
get away with this.
Il est un peu mieux passé, on va dire. C'est qui que j'ai vu le... C'est du Randall, je crois que j'ai vu le... Quick Shooter, c'est ça. C'était aussi assez mitigé. Le... Non, c'est pas... C'était lui ou... comment il s'appelle encore? Le Fossoyeur de film. Mais bon, ouais, ils étaient aussi assez mitigés. Il a perdu tout son charme. J'ai pas vu le premier alors.
I knew those Dalton boys were out there somewhere, standing together against anyone who would threaten them.
Je crois que les pépites, j'ai dû en rater des milliers. C'est le gameplay. Ouais, c'était sur... Pardon. Les tops et les flops de l'année, je crois que c'était ça. Pour le fauteuil. C'est lui. Le Randall, il avait aussi fait une commentaire dessus.
A steamboat in a swamp?
Yeah, Steve, but this wasn't much more than a wreck, really.
But how'd a damn steamboat end up in the swamps?
Guess it floated off during the flood of '89.
Now, was it a stern wheeler or a side wheeler?
What? Does that really make a difference, Steve?
It
was a steamboat with a goddamn
hier,
army on
enfin,
board.
comme j'ai dit, j'étais tellement mort, j'ai combatté toute la journée en regardant des vidéos. J'ai quand même fait une vidéo de Far Cry, là par contre, c'est...
But among those men that were shooting at me, I thought I saw some familiar faces.
Ouais, je l'ai dit moi-même donc... Non mais... L'air de rien, c'est vrai que je me suis répété une ou deux fois quoi, 36 fois c'est un petit peu exagéré il me semble.
Somewhere up there the Daltons were waiting on me.
Armateur là.
Sounds like you don't give up too easy.
That's the kind of man I am, Ben. I set out to do something. I do it. Surrender just ain't in my nature. Plus, I'm stubborn as hell.
Oh.
You can't hide from me.
Hey. Et sinon ça va l'intro, c'était pas trop chiant, etc. Puis effectivement, bon ben c'est à quel point surtout. Parce que je sais à un endroit, je me suis répété 2-3 fois.
Right about then, much to my relief, the vigilantes finally arrived. Their leader motioned at a cabin in the middle of the top deck, pointing me directly at the Daltons. I finally had them, after months of dogged pursuit.
Donc ouais, mais il faudrait normalement que je fasse une petite intro comme ça, assez longue, enfin relativement longue pour tous mes streams, ouais, tous mes walkthroughs. Parce que c'est... Bon voilà, ça reste agréable à écouter, etc. Je donne un peu mon avis et il y a beaucoup de gens qui m'ont dit que je ne donnais pas justement assez mon avis. Donc voilà. Sinon c'était sur le fait de pourquoi les gens n'avaient pas apprécié le jeu.
Turned out that they had me.
Take him out! I'm sending you to hell!
De pas le faire directement.
The Daltons had played me like a fiddle. Apparently the vigilantes were on their damn payroll. They didn't just want to shoot me. They wanted to burn me alive. But finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite a challenge.
It was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Well, yeah, but I was in a fight.
Hear about that ship that's gonna launch next year? Largest one in the world.
You're talking about the Titanic. If you ask me, it's too blessed big. I don't think they'll even float.
So anyway...
Don't be stupid, Steve. They know what they're doing. They say that the Titanic is unsinkable.
Oh, God.
But getting back to that steamboat.
Attendre la fin du jeu pour faire, pour donner son avis, bon bah... Voilà, non, je pense pas que ce soit vraiment une bonne idée. Parce que justement, les gens ils vont regarder la première vidéo en général avant de quoi que ce soit d'autre. Si ça se met, ils vont même pas suivre le jeu. Et ils vont regarder la première vidéo pour avoir justement l'avis à ce moment-là. Tu donnes rarement ton avis dans la dernière vidéo, ou alors vraiment... À la fin du walkthrough, pendant le générique, je pense pas que ce soit une bonne idée. Je fais toujours un petit commentaire, ça... Pas grand chose, j'ai bien apprécié le jeu, etc. Et à la fin... Non, à la fin du jeu, non. Parce que tu vas, justement, c'est... En priorité, j'avais fait ma chaîne au début parce que c'était pour faire des jeux qui venaient de sortir. Et quand un jeu vient de sortir, tu donnes ton avis tout au début, c'est ce que les gens ils viennent chercher en priorité.
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow
mais dans la dernière vidéo, déjà les gens ne regardent pas, parce que jamais la dernière vidéo se regarde sur les autres. La dernière, bon bah, forcément la plus regardée. Bon, la première, et c'est là que tout se fait.
To come at me one at a time. They were in this together. Two brothers side by side, determined to take me down. Confident that this time the odds were on their side.
Encore c'est différent, enfin je crois que dans les anciens c'est différent, ici tu dois bouger en fait ta main avec les touches de déplacement pour être le plus proche possible du revolver. Et avec la souris, essayer de stabiliser sur le personnage pour avoir plus de précision et j'imagine arriver plus rapidement près de la cible.
They got it wrong. A sad end for those two. If they'd only known that Emmett was still alive despite his wounds.
C'est pas évident. C'est celui-là, ça va encore. Je me rappelle dans
he moved to California and sold real estate and lived off the legend of that fateful day.
Lequel?
And the tragic death of his two brothers.
Bound in Blood? Moi c'est celui-là, c'est ça, c'était n'importe quoi, c'est... Vous pouvez rien faire. Forme légendaire déverrouillée. C'est tous des Call of Juarez. Moins 25% de recul, 30% de vitesse et 2 missions en plus. Je crois que c'était le Bound in Blood. Je me rappelle des détails peut-être. Bon, par contre ici, je crois que je vais aller manger dans pas longtemps, donc je vais pas recommencer une nouvelle mission.
My own brothers died tragically as well, truth be told. It was 1868, and me and my older brothers were pulling a tidy profit running cattle into Juarez, Mexico. One night after my brothers retired for the evening, I found a little poker game in a cantina with a couple
oui,
of cowboys.
je n'arrête pas de le répéter à chaque fois que je fais des streams dernièrement.
I just couldn't lose.
Pas se couper les
I
cheveux
even
parce
won an old Spanish coin that had to be 100 years old. Well, I was mighty pleased with myself the next morning as my brothers and I rode for Texas. But before we crossed the border, those cowboys caught up with us. It was Johnny Ringo, Roscoe Bob Bryant, and another asshole named Jim. They wanted their money back and everything else we had, including our lives, as those boys didn't want us coming for them later. Bob put that old Spanish coin in my mouth and said, I won't have it said that I left you with nothing, boy. Well, those horses bolted, and there we hung as those bastards rode away. The branch finally snapped under the weight of the three of us, but being my older brothers were bigger and heavier, they were already dead. And right then I swore to myself that I would avenge them. Ringo you know about. But Bob eluded me. Until I heard he was riding with the Wild Bunch.
Rail sur la prairie. On va voir à quoi ressemble.
I'd been on their trail for months, ever since they left their hideout in the Bighorn Mountains. Led by Butch Cassidy, they were a loose association of outlaws who robbed banks and trains from Colorado to Montana. Among them was the Sundance Kid, and that murderous hombre I was tracking, Roscoe Bob Bryant.
Ah non, on ne me l'a pas dit, ça arrive, hein. Il y a certains jeux qui sont beaucoup plus forts que d'autres, etc. Ici j'ai déjà diminué le son quand même pas mal parce que j'avais remarqué que c'était plus fort. Mais je dis qu'on ne m'entend pas clairement du tout, et n'hésite pas à le dire putain aussi. Je ignorais ça. Donc voilà. Ben, c'est la fin de ce stream pour l'instant. Je reviendrai après avoir mangé, donc voilà, dans une heure, les trentaines de minutes. Donc, on se retrouve plus tard. N'hésitez pas à repasser, je serai là. Non, bien. Bonne soirée et bonne nuit.